What's the number one thing most advertising strategies are missing today? That's this week on Think Tank Tuesday. Hi, I'm Paul Potratz, and welcome to this week's Think Tank Tuesday. So if I was to ask you, what is the number one thing that your advertising, or let's say most advertising strategies are missing today, what would you say? It's so simple that you probably don't even realize it. But to kind of set the stage, what I want you to do is I want you to think back. Think about some of the older advertising strategies. Remember that guy, Joe Azuzu? What was so compelling about that advertising strategy? Creativity? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's being missed in advertising today. Not all advertising, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some advertising that's very creative. And I mean, there's always the point that you can get so creative that people don't even understand what you're trying to advertise. So here's a commercial for you. Have you seen the commercial where it's the dad and the kids and they're talking to the mom on the video telephone? And she's asking, well, how's everything going? Did they do their homework? Did they eat dinner? Is everything good? And all the kids say, oh yeah, everything's good, everything's good. And then they pan away, and then it shows the whole kitchen is really dirty, nasty, except for that one little section where he cleaned the wall off so he could talk to his wife. Do you remember that commercial? Have you seen it? So the question is, what are they advertising? So the commercial was creative, but the problem was it didn't drive home the product that they were trying to sell. And I mean, we've polled around the office and asked that question. But creativity is what's missing in advertising strategies. So when you're building your marketing strategy, are you basing it strictly on price? Or are you saying, oh, I got to have the lowest price, price. Well, just stop for a moment and think about it. Do you really need to be focusing everything on price? Because where is your pricing? Well, your pricing's on your website. So shouldn't the goal be, how do I get somebody to my website? How do I get the traffic to the website? Because if you think about it, let's say you're selling a Camry at $189 a month, and then there's the Honda dealer that's selling the Accord for $179 a month, and then there's the Nissan dealer selling the Altima for $159 a month, and that's on TV. So did you already lose? Yeah, you already lost. And it's not that you lost in the consumer's mind, but your managers and your salespeople start going sour because they're thinking, oh, they're underselling us and we got to drop price. But when you're doing an advertising strategy like that, you're only talking to 3% of the market. That's it. So think about that. If you're doing price point advertising with no creativity, you're talking to a small percentage of the market. So I want you to get creative. Think about some creative strategies. What can you do different? Again, roll back the clock and think about different strategies that are creative. Or even think about today. What are some ad campaigns that stand out? What about Geico? Geico is very creative, good strategy, and they have that consistent branding. I mean, they've got the little gecko that's in the commercial all the time. So I don't want you to be like let's just say some business owners that I've seen, that they'll get a really creative strategy and then they start going down that path and they're doing it and they have it for 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, and then they get bored with it and they start wanting to change it. That loses the momentum. That's what loses your creativity. And then you start going to price point. You've got to get creative in your marketing strategies. I'm going to show you a couple commercials right now. So just watch these commercials and I want you to tell me, is it creative or not?
Hey, I'm Doug, your credit genie.
You don't look like a genie.
I'm a credit genie, so...
I wish you looked like a genie.
Your wish is my command. Ha ha! I'm your credit genie, here to improve your credit.
Oh, then I can buy a nicer, newer car.
At Ride Time, you don't need a credit genie to improve your credit, although it would be pretty sweet.
Come visit us at Pembina Highway, Oak Point Highway, or online at ridetime.ca.
Ha ha!
In a world where guzzlers, clunkers, and junkers rule the streets, one dealer will embark on a journey to change it all. One dream, one mission. This November, a hero will rise and prices will fall. From the dealer that brought you guaranteed credit approval comes a story of passion, desire, and the will to sell. Black Friday. the most trusted dealer near you.
Brad Credit is back again, wreaking havoc on credit scores all over Winnipeg. He's causing late payments and terminating your loan history. But not for long. Doug and Andrew, the brothers of bargains, are here to put a stop to his credit ruining tactics. Because at Ride Time, they can get you approved, even if you have fallen victim to Brad Credit.
Go to ridetime.ca to get pre-approved.
Or visit us on Pembina Highway, Oak Point Highway, or online at ridetime.ca.
All right, so after you watch those commercials, you're either saying, yeah, that's pretty creative, hey, that stands out, or oh, that's corny, that's stupid, and I would never do that. Well, you've got to decide. I mean, you can do the corny, you can do the kind of the slapstick type strategy, or, I mean, it's up to you. You've got to get creative, and you've got to remain memorable. So the commercials I just showed you is a client of ours, and they're, I mean, whatever we want to do, they're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's come up with the skit. Let's do it. Let's push it. Let's push it. Well, their commercials are so creative, whether you think they are or not, they've stood out to a level to now that they're going to have their own show. That's right. They're going to have their own reality show coming out because those commercials is what brought them front and center. And their sales, well, yeah, their sales are rocking it because they're willing to stand out and be different. I mean, think about it. I mean, we've got the cliche, what makes great marketing? Well, great marketing is being different. Your marketing has to be remarkable. And when I say remarkable, that's what I'm really trying to tell you. Remarketable. That's what your advertising's got to be. If your advertising's like everybody else, and I know I'm telling you stuff you already know, but what's stopping you from changing your advertising to stop being like everybody else? Because if all you're doing is price pointing, I mean, don't get me wrong, price is very important to the consumer, but the price is already on your website. So price, yes, important, but get creative, get them to your website, be different, create some buzz, just be willing to put yourself out there. I mean, think about it. We've been doing these videos for a few years now. And I mean, do you think I like wearing a suit and a pocket square every day? Well, yeah, I do, but still, you get my point. It's about marketing yourself, and there's no reason you can't start marketing yourself. Just get creative. And if you're struggling with being creative, well, give us a call. We've got some great ideas that we'd like to roll out. The problem is we just can't find enough clients that are willing to say, yeah, let's just do it however you want. So break out of your boundaries and get creative. That's this week's tip. See you next week.